ghetto boy playing in the ghetto street. What you gonna do when you grow up and have to face responsibility? Will you spend your days and nights in the pool room? Will you sell cats of madness to the neighborhood little ghetto?
The moment I decided being a fatherless son was not going to destroy me. I don't know if there's a real answer to that. I don't know if there was a aha moment or if I had an epiphany and I just realized it one day. But I do know over the course of my journey, I decided that I just wasn't going to fail. I was going to prove everybody wrong. It started a fire in me when I felt like people doubted me, when I felt like people didn't believe in me, when I felt like people thought the worst about me. Instead of it consuming me in a depressing way, it consumed me in a motivating way. When did that transition happen? I don't know, because I can remember, not vaguely, but intimately remember when I had a lot of negative thoughts and negative feelings about myself and my situation. But eventually all of that changed. And when that changed, I don't know, but I thank God it did. So I had to make it up in my mind that I wasn't going to let what has destroyed so many people, I wasn't going to let it destroy me. And so as a result of that, I felt like I wanted to make lemonade out of the bitter lemons that I had been given. Next question.
You know, it's this whole feeling doing this whole project has been extremely taxing on me in a lot of ways. You know, even now, sitting on the steps of one of my childhood best friends, reminiscing about everything that that I've been through. You know, looking at all of the wreckage, if you can call it that. You know, it's like my past is dead, but it's so alive in my memories. It's so alive, in my everyday life because I carry it with me. And I can remember that day that I realized that I was a fatherless son. I can remember that day. I felt so alive. I was having so much fun. I was so free. Before that moment in the alley. Nah, listen, man, in this alley, man, it's bringing back so many memories, man.
Yeah.
You remember walking in this alley, throwing rocks at people, doing whatever we could think about doing?
Yeah.
I remember one day when we was about 10 years old, we was at your granny's house, having a ball like normal. Might have been messing with, I don't know who, like the day because in our hood, when girls liked you, you know what I'm saying, they wanted to fight you.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Only problem is in our hood, the girls could actually fight.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And so
especially the girls around the corner.
you almost got beat up that one day. You know what I'm saying?
That's how much she liked you.
Yeah, she was in love with you. And but you pulled through, you know what I'm saying? But I remember that day, and that was the first time I met your daddy. We was about 10 years old, and we was at Granny's. And I was in my mind like, basically, that's my brother's daddy. It's my daddy. So I've been calling him Pops ever since, my whole life, since about 10 years old. And I don't remember what happened. I had to go home, went home. You know you hate going home because mama gonna make you do something. As soon as I get home, I gotta work. She got me in the backyard doing this, doing that, whatever. I'm mad now, everybody else having fun.
Right.
And you and your daddy came walking up the alley. And so we introduced them. And when we introduced them, naturally, they didn't know each other. And I can remember it, like standing back, thinking in my mind, like, man, like, that's Pops, but they don't know each other.
Right.
So even though that's Pops, for real, that ain't Pops. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm out here.
Right.
And that was the first time that I really realized that I'm out here. And you know, and that was, I believe that was the day that I began to master the art of smiling through pain, because I was, you know, I was embarrassed. I felt alone and rejected, and you know, I felt like it was, you know, the world crashing in on me. And then, you know, when he walked away and Gerard walked away with him and I stayed there, you know, it was like, once again, it was a reminder of everybody around me can get picked up and rescued, but there was no rescuing for me. And then, you know, meeting up with Gerard again in the alley for the first time in, you know, more than 20 years, revisiting that day, I felt the same emotions. I felt, you know, it was embarrassing being that transparent, talking to a man about how I feel as a man, because of something that happened to me when I was a boy. You know, that's a very humbling thing for a man to do, is to expose his vulnerability to another man. No matter how much you love him, no matter how much you trust him, you still a man. Men have been taught from our experiences, from our circumstances, from the people around us, that we should be tough, we should be strong, we should be hard, we should be, you know, we should be all of those things, all of those stereotypical things. And so what it forces us to do is suppress how we really feel and what we're really going through. And that's really where the real problems come from, you know. And I tell people all the time, a lot of times what you're struggling with today as an adult, you can trace it back, if you try hard enough, to something that happened to you when you were a child. And so, yeah, that was a humbling experience for me then, and it was today. You know, standing in the same alley, you know, with the same person, talking about an event 30 years ago that has its fingerprint and its DNA on who I am 30 years later. So, yeah. I'm glad I came back here. I'm glad I came back. I'm glad I sat on this porch. I'm glad I walked in those yards, because it's a reminder that no matter where you come from, it cannot stop you from getting to where you're going unless you let it. Because where I am, I'm not supposed to be. What I'm doing, I'm not supposed to be doing. What I've accomplished, somebody else was supposed to do, if my past had anything to say about it. But coming here is a reminder that my past is exactly that. It's my past. And, you know, I won't forget where I come from. This is the reason why I can't get heady and can't get above myself, because I know I come from nothing. And I know that I could be back to nothing in the blink of an eye, you know, if I don't handle myself appropriately as far as God is concerned. So, you know, I'm a man now. And these streets, these alleys, these backyards, these people, these experiences all worked together to help me be the man that I am. So I'm glad I came back, but I'm glad I get to leave.
Days and nights in the pool room. Will you sell cats of